And we are live. Hello, guys, and welcome to the Fleming Film Show. Me, Robbie Fleming, and joining me as always is a lovely guy from LA, Mr. Justin Doyle. Hello, Justin.
Hello. Good to see everybody. How you doing, Rob?
I'm good. Last time I saw you, we were talking wrestling movies.
And we had a great time doing that.
We did. We'll have to get Dan back on the show again.
Yeah, that was awesome. I had a great time.
Yeah, definitely.
What are we doing today?
Well, today I thought we'd do something a bit different and talk about a movie because we haven't had a proper film discussion on this show all year. And this film was kind of blown up everywhere, and now it's on Netflix. I had to see what the hype was about, and I thought I would need to talk to somebody about this film as well. And this is the Indian action epic RRR.
Yes, stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt.
Yes, this is a Tollywood production. It's not Bollywood, it's Tollywood.
What's Tollywood?
It's from the Telugu language speaking place of India region.
Gotcha. Okay. What do we have here?
So what we have here is these two Indian revolutionaries who never met in real life, but this movie is fictional. It's a bit like Braveheart, like it is based on some truth, but the truth is kind of all stretched out and all over the place. But I think this film does it better. They become best friends and they fight against the British. And this film has everything. It has romance, action, music, comedy, all in the space of 3 hours.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, the 3 hour and 7 minute runtime is going to deter you away from this movie. And it didn't need to be that long. There's a lot of scenes that they definitely could have cut out, and maybe this could have been like a 2.5 hour long movie. And that might have made it better. So yes, you're right. All of this stuff that you said is true. It is a multi genre movie. It has a lot of genres in it. Just on IMDb here, it just calls it an action drama. It is very heavily action, which over here at Worth of View Movies, JD the Viewmaster loves. So I was very excited because the very first scene is the best action scene. So good. So yeah, we have these two guys, but we only meet one of them. And the way that they do it is they start with the first R, but the first R turns into the fire. And this actually plays out through the entire movie. So you have the character Ram, who's a part of the troops. He's a part of these troops against his own sort of people. And the way that this movie opens is a guy, they're standing at a barricade, and he's standing there making sure nobody comes across it. And somebody throws a rock, and it hits a painting, and it drops down. It's their leader, and it breaks. And the general's like, "Go get me that man." And Ram jumps over the barricade into a sea of thousands of people to get this man. And this action sequence goes on for about 8 minutes, and it is rocking. He is fighting literally everybody. I mean, it reminded me of like a 007 Jackie Chan mix, because Jackie Chan can beat up everybody, right? But it was in this area where, like, you see we've seen a 007 being, and it just set the tone for the entire movie. And then the next R we get is the water, and that's where we meet the other character. His name is Beam. They call him Beam. And he is, well, the beginning of the movie, this young girl gets taken away from her tribe, and he is a part of that tribe, or their whatever they call it. And when you take somebody that's a part of your tribe, you got to get them back. So all he does is trains to get this girl back,
and fights the
and it's really cool because yes, but only to capture him. Not for anything else, because as he does capture him, he says, "This is for a bigger cause, my friend." Like, he really treats everybody with a lot of respect, including animals. And he's a huge. Both of these guys are in incredible shape, and they're both beasts. And so what happens here is, so he wants to get his little girl back, or his sister back, and the people who took her hear about this, and they know that this shepherd is coming to get back part of his flock. And so the general's like, all right, whoever can bring me back this man alive will get promoted. And that's all Ram wants to do, is be promoted in the ranks to this certain level. And we don't know why yet, but we do find out why. And so he says, I'll do it. I will take that challenge. I'll bring him back alive, and I will become a higher ranking officer. And yeah, so then they actually meet unknowingly, that they both need, that one's after the other, and they become friends. And this sort of interesting movie starts to happen, because there's a dance. There's like a Hindi dance that they do, a Bollywood style dance. Yeah. It was very creative, and to me it wasn't too necessary until the end, because at the end of that dance is when Beam says to Ram, like, I wanted to challenge you at this. I wanted to be a better dancer than you at this. So you do see the fire and water sort of conflict there, the yin and the yang. But they are good friends, because Beam wants to find love, and he finds love with this lady who's American, or who speaks English, and she doesn't understand what he says. So Ram's there to make conversation goes well, and he just really wants to be, in a relationship. What do you think? I mean, I'm just talking about the movie here. I mean, it's a long movie, so I just want to. I'm kind of setting the table here for.
Well, I was more entertained watching this than I was Drive My Car.
Yeah, so Drive My Car, another international movie that is 3 hours long, and yeah, so to me, this movie became a Fast and Furious. This is a Hindi Fast and Furious movie, because a lot of this stuff no human being can do. There's just no way. I know you might be strong, but there's no way you can toss a man into a whole group of men 20 feet away, okay?
Well, that's the magic of cinema. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that's where I started to turn a little bit in this movie, because I was like, oh, action, great. And then the whole water part was a little bit slow and somber. And then, more action, and then the dance. And then I was like, okay, well, now these guys are just ridiculous. Like, even from that first scene where he's taking on all those guys, I mean, that was a little more practical. Now they're doing more just crazy stunts. And I mean, it definitely worked, but I was like, oh, this is like a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
This is The Rock, and this is Jason Statham,
And you know what's funny? These two actors are the biggest actors in this industry in India.
Yeah, well, this Ram Charan, I've seen him before. Maybe just on this trailer or posters or such. But yeah, how did you like him as an actor?
I thought they were both really good, both Ram Rio Jr. and Ram Charan.
Yeah, I thought they both did a really good job. And we do know somebody in this movie, because it's
two people I knew.
Yeah, we know Ray Stevenson, who played the main general man, the man who stole the young girl, the one who's the boss to Ram.
He's the Punisher in Punisher Warzone. He's also in the 4 movies. He's also in the other guys with Will Ferrell. Yeah. And he's also in, what was that? I just had it in my head, G.I. Joe 2.
Mm-hmm. Rise of the Cobra.
Yeah, that's the one.
And who's the other one?
Alison Doody was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. She played the blonde German lady who betrays him.
Oh yeah, and she's in Major League 2. A View to a Kill. Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of stuck
She's
with
been
British
around for a
indie
while.
films for the last couple of years, so I'm guessing that she's trying something new.
Oh, she was the wife.
Yeah, she was the wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So also part of this movie is pretty brutal. So Beam gets slashed to death, and on this whip is like needles. And when you wrap it around and you tear it off, like just
That
skin
bit
comes
was
off.
so intense.
It was very, very intense. You know what though? There was a lot of ADR, a lot of additional dialogue in the post because sometimes when their mouth moved, it didn't seem like the same sort of cadence, you know. So I wonder if they had trouble speaking, or even if there was like
No, I
a
think they've
dubbing.
re-recorded it in different languages for different audiences in India because they all speak different languages in different regions.
Yeah, but the sound it wasn't coming from them. It was coming from inside like a
I
booth,
could
you,
tell
you
the
know.
English ones had their actual lines.
Yeah, the English ones did for sure. But for some reason, these guys didn't. And then also when they sang, obviously it wasn't them singing and dancing, the entire time. Because there's like three big dance numbers.
That's
Uh,
what puts me off the original West Side Story, that their lip syncing doesn't match their voices when they're singing.
yeah, I know. Well, that's what happened a lot in musicals is that, they have to go back and re-record, which is unfortunate. Plus, it also sounds better in a studio than it does like live.
It was La La Land sang live like Les Miserables was.
No, that was one of the first things that turned me off because at the beginning of La La Land, Another Day of Sun, yeah, they're all lip syncing, and it's because they're dancing around crazy, So, but I know some of their songs were like when they did City of Stars at the piano, like that's done, and I bet Audition, the song that she sings for her audition about her aunt was probably done right there. So. I
Yeah,
bet there was some practicality to this. Um, but yeah, so the fire and water thing really does come back into full play because at
it
some
does.
point Beam and Ram fight together, and you see Ram get a bow and arrow and he lights it on fire, but Beam jumps into the water to be saved, and then he also fights in the water and takes people down from being in the water. So I thought that was really interesting. And they always have like a red sort of tone to Ram and a bluish, whitish sort of tone to Beam. So I really thought that was very well done and creative for the
What
director.
what did you think to the cinematography?
A lot of slowdowns, it's a lot of Matrix sort of,
Yeah,
which is cool, but they probably did it a little too much. Um,
that was a couple of flaws I had with it. Like it is okay every now and again, but you don't want it in every single action scene.
yeah, I don't need it in all of them,
Yeah,
just just have it normal. Just have it be normal. Um, yeah, I overall really enjoyed this film. Because of the action. It really got me in the action, and even when so they storm the castle, as it were, and this is where Beam lets out all of the animals that he has captured, so he can use them as part of his army to take down the other army. And that scene was so awesome. It was the first time that Beam and Ram actually fight each other. And that beginning scene with all the animals was so well done. Obviously, lots of CGI, but really, really smart. And then the scene that Beam and Ram start fighting is just so epic. I mean, they really go at it. And these, one seems more of like the stronger man, and the other one seems more of like a martial artist, maybe. And it was just really, really cool to see. Like I said, very, very Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, Rock and Statham sort of feel to it. But
yeah.
it was rocking. It was really rocking.
Now, one thing I know about JD and Worth to View movies is they also love musicals. What did you think to the music in this?
Well, it was actually one of the worst parts of the film, I think. I
Really?
I love the culture, you guys. It has nothing to do with it, but I don't know if every number fit for this movie, and it wouldn't be as accepted. Like if those two went to that party and did this dance, there's no way that everyone around them would have A, participated, but B, even allowed it, because it's
I
just
like
two
that.
guys. Well, it was ballsy. There's also like memes of this where they put soccer balls at their feet when they're doing the movement with their straps and the kicks and stuff. They put
Yeah.
soccer balls at their feet like they're juggling around a soccer ball. What I do have to say, both actors acted their balls off in this movie. Every time that they fought, it was with everything they got. Every time that they danced, it was with everything they got. They moved so quick, so hard, so powerful, including in the dancing. And I do have to give that to them. That was beautiful to watch because they gave it their all, 110%. Both in the acting, three times the acting, action, and at the dancing, just beautifully well done. They're both craftsmen. I mean, they all know how to use weapons and shoot. And
So,
what did you think of? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was about to say the director of this film is S.S.
Rajamouli.
Rajamouli, yes, but we'll talk about him after you tell me the question you're about to ask me.
Yeah, so we do find out the reason why Ram wants to go higher up in the ranks. And the placement of this little mini story was a little weird. So like literally 2 hours into it, they tell us why Ram wants to do this, and it's because he saw his dad and his mom and his brother get murdered by this general, the one that he's working for now.
Very, very Once Upon a Time in the West kind of style.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, that was raw. It was so raw. And his dad said, make sure that everyone gets a gun, put a gun in everyone's hand. And so he wants to rise up in these rankings. So he has the power to take the guns that are in this general's, vicinity and give it to people who deserve it, who need, to fight with guns. And obviously right now is not a good time to talk about fighting with guns, but for war, you need guns to win. You can't, they didn't have any weapons. So they had one gun and one set of bullets. And so he took down as many as he can. But as a kid, he saw his dad and his mom and his brother die. So he wanted to get his vengeance. That's what this movie is pretty much about, is vengeance and friendship.
Yes, vengeance and friendship. Best things to add to a story.
Yeah, because Beam has his own sort of vengeance. He needs to get his sister back.
Exactly. So let's talk about the director. We do see him in the film, actually.
Oh. Where?
Right at the end, he's the bloke dancing with the beard.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, he works. He does a lot of work.
Yeah, he's the biggest director in India. He's the Spielberg of India.
Yeah, Bahubali, the beginning, and Bahubali 2, the conclusion, I think were two pretty known movies. I mean, I haven't seen them, but in their own right. But yeah, he's got a lot of credits. He even has the actor credits. Yeah, he has a few. Yeah. What did you think about in this movie?
What'd you say, Justin?
What do you think about the stunts in this movie?
The stunts were phenomenal.
Yeah, the team really, really knew what they were doing. Because it's throughout.
This might be a contender for my stunt award this year.
I would that would be hard to vote against, because the stunts are amazing. There's a point where we see Ram on top of Beam's shoulders and they're fighting men, and he has two guns, and Beam loads them for him or cocks it for him, and then Ram shoots him out. I thought that was really impressive. There's a lot of impressive things in this movie. I love
The
when action
production
movies.
design was probably the highlight.
Well, yeah, so it's beautiful everywhere because even where Sita was, where his girlfriend was, like that area, it didn't look green screen to me. It looked like they were actually wherever they were, and it was beautiful. Just water behind
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, so one thing I love about movies is getting lost in their world. Like I was talking to Cody, Chris, and Sean yesterday about Gladiator, and I just love like being in that world, like with Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, obviously, all them. And I would love to be in this world that the director is trying to build here.
Yeah, well, that um, palace that general lives in is amazing. I mean, just breathtaking. Yeah, what about the costumes in this?
Yeah, costumes are excellent. They really went with the uh, historical epic feel.
Yeah, I mean, it did it even say when this took place? Because it was hard.
1920s.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it was hard to gauge. I mean, obviously no cell phones or anything, but I knew it wasn't anything modern. But yeah, this was a period piece. Well, and I guess if they're going back to the war, yeah. Yeah. How did you like how was it with like the international of it all? Like, did it bother you or?
Well, I'm always up for exploring like new cultures with cinema. I think the best foreign international movie I've seen this year is The Worst Person in the World, but I'd say RRR is probably second at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was because worst person in the world was from last year, at least on our end. So,
Yeah, I didn't see
uh,
it till this year because obviously release dates are different in this country.
yeah, yeah, I really do like this, but it's like it still falls under the category of a Fast and Furious movie, which uh, Fast and Furious
That's
movies that
not
have been made is on my
necessarily a
my
bad
tier.
thing because I do like some Fast and Furious films.
Well, yeah, I mean, all of them are great except for the last one. I mean, they're all fun at least. And this is fun. It is long. They should take out some stuff.
This would be a good film to get people who don't really know much about international movies to get into because they'll like the action side of it and there might be some people who want the romance or the musical side of it as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's action from beginning to end. It bookends the movie. There's three dance numbers. One's including in the credits. Um, but yeah, the first one was cool. The others seemed a little misplaced. But the only other reason why is because the reason why it bothered me is because these two men are such badasses. I don't really want to see them in any sort of other light. I don't want to see them vulnerable. I want them to always just be beasts and want to, rip some throats out. But that's just me, at least when it comes to a movie like that. But this movie has a lot of heart. Obviously, the stuff about his parents was sad, the stuff about his sister being um, taken is bad, and they even have an interaction where they finally see each other, but he can't take her then and there, and they have this really, really sweet moment. But yeah, I'm digging this movie about vengeance and friendship, and I thank you for bringing it to the table because it's I had seen it and heard about it, and it's got an 8.6 on IMDb, so it's got some good ratings. A lot of people, or
Yes,
8.2.
yes.
A lot of people are liking it. Let me see what the Rotten Tomatoes is.
It's just nice to see a blockbuster that has more of an original story because obviously in the Western world everything's a bit of a remake or a reboot or a sequel or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. This is a unique original film. 85
I
percent.
think Western filmmakers need to learn off this film.
Yeah, Yeah. And I'm sure somebody's gonna copy it one day.
I'm pretty sure I can see something like James Gunn or Taika Waititi taking influence from this.
85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience scored 94%. So it looks like people are loving it.
I can't see this becoming an award hit.
No.
I mean, this is India's version of like Marvel films.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could make a franchise off of this for sure.
Yes, definitely. Well, they got two of the biggest actors in India and the biggest Indian director behind this, so let's just obviously see what else they can obviously bring, because this might just be the start. Like Parasite has kind of taken international films over maybe this one because of its popularity. Might get Indian films more in the mainstream.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. It's yeah, I mean, it's just franchisable. It has this whole opportunity to become something in it, and I'm glad it's on Netflix because it gives people the opportunity to see it more.
Exactly. Although I would have liked to have seen this in a film cinema and just
Yeah,
see the experience, because obviously learning about this film from different YouTubers, Patrick H. Willems, what one I normally like follow a lot. He was the one that mentioned this movie and wanted me to see it. I'll have to send you a link for his video. It's really good on this film, and he was like going through obviously about obviously this industries and like about the film and stuff. And apparently, like when he went to see it in the crowds, they all just kept cheering over the actors and the director, and they were singing along to the dances.
yeah. It's actually playing in Los Angeles. I just looked it up. Wow.
Maybe you should go and start dancing around.
Is this right? It says the gross worldwide is $99.7 million.
That's good, isn't
Dang.
it?
Yeah, that's really
What
good.
was the budget?
Well, it looks like it's in their
Currency.
currency, but it's so to me it's 3.5 billion, but it's whatever their currency is. So I bet
I
it's
would
probably
just
like,
Google it and see what it translates to in pounds or dollars.
okay, let's see if I can do that. Anyway, yeah, crazy that it's made that much money already.
Do films
Um,
make money when they get played on Netflix?
well, it's a rights thing. So um, like they made a deal with Netflix, like how much it would be. So like, let's say they're like, we'll buy your movie for $50 million and put it on Netflix. But I don't know how Netflix makes money. So in United States dollars, it's 45,049,540, 45,049,585 dollars. So $45.5 million. So it's doubled its money. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, this is rocking. This is a rocking movie. I'd like to see more, you know. Not as long of movies though.
No, just more Indian blockbusters.
Yeah, Indian blockbusters. This is, like you said, this is a good way to get people into it if they're not seeing this sort of stuff.
Because if I showed somebody who's never seen an international movie drive my car, they'll probably think all foreign movies are long and boring.
Yeah, well, Drive My Car is a little tough. It is tough. This director only has 2 hour, 20-minute plus movies. Dang. Yamadonga is 3 hours. He likes long movies. I
He
guess he's
does.
got a lot to say. He doesn't want to break it up into 2 parts.
No, he's not Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think this is a great movie. People should go check it out. It's out on Netflix. The 3 hours may turn you off, but break it up. Do it into hour-long, like pretend it's a TV show and just watch an hour.
Pause it, make a cup of tea, you grab yourself a beer, grab yourself some popcorn or some sweets, or maybe just grab yourself your dinner and watch the rest of it later.
Yeah, exactly. But I recommend it.
I do as well. What are you going to rate this movie?
Well, I'll do it on your rating. I would give this. You would give it a 5?
No, I said out of 5.
Yeah, I would give it a 3.5.
Okay, I'm a little bit more generous, so I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rock and action movie, but there's some things that I.
What would be your score on Worth the View movies?
Well, I can't give it away now.
Oh yeah,
I still want to review it.
We'll leave that in the shadows till your video on this one comes out of it.
Yeah, it'll come out this week. Follow me at Worth the View Movies on all the things, and you'll be able to see what I have to say about RRR.
Yeah, and I think is that everything we need to talk about this movie.
I mean, we can just like I was doing. We can talk about each scene, but that's there's no reason to. I think people should just go check it out. I think they need to experience it for themselves. It's pretty
and I
remarkable.
also think it'd be better if you didn't watch a trailer for this. Just watch it without seeing the trailer.
Jump right in. Especially if you love action, jump right in.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. Do you have any movie recommendations this week?
Yes, I do actually. I'm not going to recommend a certain one that's come out this week, but I am going to recommend a 60s classic that I watched for the first time.
Watch.
It's called The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman and Bancroft. The reason why I'm recommending this movie is because I watched it for the first time. At the end of this movie, I could not believe what I just saw and could not process what I thought about the movie. This movie was made in the 60s and follows a 21-year-old who's just graduated high school. He has an affair with this older lady, then falls in love with her daughter, and the mother is trying to control her daughter, but he doesn't want the affair with her mother to slip in because he really likes this girl. I mean, I don't really like the character Dustin Hoffman plays in this movie, but his performance is great, and so is Anne Bancroft and Catherine Ross. Ross are all great in this movie. The screenplay is well written, but what really makes it shine is a soundtrack from this awesome funk duo, Mr. Paul Simon and Mr. Art Garfunkel, who provide a lot of songs for this film, including Mrs. Robinson, who is the woman who Anne Bancroft is playing. But yeah, it's got this iconic ending, which everybody knows, but you have to see it for yourself alongside this movie, and it will blow you away just like it did with me. So if you fancy a classic from the 60s, I highly recommend The Graduate. It won't be a film that's made today, but it's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, one I have not seen, but I, of course, know a lot about it.
You should check it out for yourself.
Okay. All right. Box office budget had a $3 million, worldwide gross of $105 million. That is a win in my book.
It was one of the highest grossing films of its year.
Oh, okay.
And it won Best Director at the Oscars that year. That was the only award it won out of every award.
Dustin Hoffman's a part of a lot of Academy Award-winning movies.
He's won two. One for Kramer versus Kramer and one for Rain Man.
He didn't win for Tootsie.
I keep meaning to see Tootsie because Bill Murray's in it.
Yeah, I need to see too. Let me see. 1, 2 Oscars. He was nominated for Wag the Dog, Rain Man, Tootsie, Kramer versus Kramer, Lenny, Midnight Cowboy, and The Graduate. And one for, Rain Man and Kramer versus Kramer, which I saw for the first time just recently, Kramer versus Kramer.
Because your girlfriend's in it.
My girl? Oh, well, Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
She was not in it. She wasn't in it that much.
But she stole the show.
She was really, really good. He's good. He's really good. But I can see him mostly like Tootsie. It seems like something more that he should win for. Who won in 1983?
Rain Man is his best because he does autistic really well without being cringy about it.
Ben Kingsley won for Gandhi.
Well, that's a performance in a lifetime.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you good with Dustin Hoffman or
yes?
The Graduate?
Yes. What's your recommendation this week?
Well, I would love to recommend Maverick because I loved it, but I actually want to recommend because I know people are going to go see Maverick, but I want to recommend something that actually you and I got to talk about for my channel, and it's called The Gift. Sam Raimi's The Gift. This is starring Cate Blanchett and Keanu Reeves, Greg Kinnear, Hilary Swank. I mean, if I need to continue, you don't want to see this. There's more. J.K. Simmons, but it's about a psychic or a card reader. There's a murder that happens in her town, and she is optioned to help find out who done it. And it just takes place in a small town with all these great actors. Sam Raimi directed it. It has horror theme to it, but not scary at all. Very much rated R. There's a lot of heavy things going on in here, like abuse, sexual abuse, stuff like that. So there's a lot of heavy stuff in it, but well directed, well casted, well acted, pretty good storyline. I give it a great worth of view, and Rob enjoyed it as well. So I say go check out The Gift.
Yes.
It's my recommendation for this week.
Yes. Before we go, let's talk about Top Gun Maverick, because I know that's everywhere, and I want to try and get more views before we go. I loved Top Gun Maverick more than the original. Would you agree, sir?
100%. Yeah. Because Tom Cruise kind of comes off as this sort of douchebag in the first one, and this one he's more of a stud. How good did Jennifer Connelly look? Unbelievable.
She's one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Yeah, she was beautiful. She's so subtle and interesting. And I was engaged every time she was speaking. I really, really liked her. How much did Miles Teller look like the original Goose?
I think besides Whiplash, that's one of his best performances.
It was awesome. It was so good. Really, really well done. I mean, he just really engulfed in the character.
Glenn Powell was brilliant as Hangman.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good cast. Lots of young actors. But we've seen them before. We've seen these actors. I mean, Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly John Hamm's in it. John Hamm's in it as well.
I took my mum to see this movie because the original Top Gun is one of her favorites. And when she used to live in Spain before I was born, she watched it over and over again because that was the only film they had.
Well, I guess you might as well watch it then, right? If that's all there is, you might as well watch all there is. He likes this director. He likes to work with Tom.
He does.
He worked with him in Oblivion. So his first movie, though, is Tron Legacy. Wow. And then Oblivion, Only the Brave, and then Top Gun Maverick. So he doesn't have too many movies.
I hope they do a sequel to Days of Thunder now.
Really?
Yes. So that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Only the Brave. Have you seen that? It has Josh Brolin in it and Miles Teller and Jennifer Connelly.
That sounds like I need to watch it.
It's pretty sad stuff. It's about firefighters. It's actually really sad. Yeah, firefighters in the woods.
Sounds interesting.
It's scary. Did you see the Angelina Jolie one where she was
No, I didn't in the end.
It was on HBO Max.
No, I haven't really got a chance to watch it yet.
Those Who Wish Me Dead. Yes.
Yeah, the trailer looked really good. I just didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah. Only the Brave is better, I think, when it comes to that. But yeah, no. Top Gun Maverick is so awesome. Great practical effects. They fly their own planes in this, so that's really, really awesome.
Yeah,
and you're in the cockpit with them.
Yes, and the cinematography when they're in them cockpits, perfect.
Yeah, it really feels suffocating. They really made it feel like we were in there with them and like couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really well done.
And it felt like a new fresh story, not just like other sequels have been, like the Space Jam one.
God, yeah, they didn't just throw nostalgia in your face. But we do see. I don't want to say. So there's probably some spoilers we shouldn't talk about.
The only one I want to talk about was the other man that comes back, Mr. Val Kilmer.
No spoiler.
It's not really a spoiler if his name's in the credits.
Fine, I guess. People just go see the movie, all right? Just go see it. I never knew Maverick's real name.
What, Peter Mitchell?
Yeah. Didn't know.
It's mentioned in the first movie.
I know. Everyone just always Maverick.
True. I always think his name's Pete Maverick.
They always all have names. Fanboy was one in this one. Omaha, Coyote, Yale, Harvard, Halo. It was a good movie. I highly recommend it.
Definitely. Yep. So everybody should check out RRR, Top Gun Maverick, The Graduate, and The Gift.
Yes.
There's the 4 films that we reckon. Well, Justin needs to watch The Graduate. When he does, he'll be recommending it to you as well.
I'm sure I will. I mean, Dustin Hoffman's a champion. What are we doing next time?
Next time, I don't know. We need to do a little bit of dibbling and dabbling. I want to invite on a new friend to talk courtroom films with us. But any other topics, if we're struggling for topics, just give me a shout. But at the end of this month or the start of July, I want to do our top 10 of the year so far, and maybe our top 5 worst as well.
I like it. Yeah, I mean the courtroom one would be fun. Yeah, it's tough though because courtroom dramas are tough movies to get through.
There's a good
Kramer
one
versus
with
Kramer.
Tom Cruise in
The Firm. I have not seen it.
No, A Few Good Men.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do you think that's going to be on your list?
It might be on my list.
Yeah, I already know mine. I'm going to watch a ton of them this week just in case, but I think I have my 5 already.
A certain one from this decade that I really like might be on that list as well.
A certain what?
A certain courtroom film from a couple of years ago.
Well, I already know that. I know that's happening.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens next time, but I'm excited and looking forward to it. I like that we broke down a movie here, which we normally don't do. We normally do like a countdown or something. So it was fun to mix it up.
I was thinking about doing, I've been meaning to do like film reviews on the YouTube channel for a while. So I haven't done one since last year with Don't Look Up. So I just wanted to just try and ease into it. So I thought this would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, we'll do it more and more as movies that are worth talking about like that happen. So
Yes,
sounds
and
good to me.
RRR sound like the hype, and I didn't want to miss a thing.
Yeah. No, it's I had heard about it before even you brought it up. So to me, that means that movie's doing something right because it's breaking into my sort of purview and stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Right, nice one, Justin. I'll see you very soon, and thank you guys for watching. If you've seen RRR, let me know what you think to it in the comments. If you haven't, check it out and come back to us and let us know what you think. And also, let us know what you think to Top Gun, The Graduate, and The Gift as well. We'll throw in all
Boom,
these
boom.
movies today. We'll throw in all the movies.
Yeah, throw them all in. And then also, if you have any suggestions about stuff that you want us to talk about, or maybe even want to be on the show yourself, shout us out. Let us know.
Yes,
We
shout
love
us out.
talking.
Let us know.
We love talking to people who love talking about movies.
Definitely. We'll have to try and bring like people like Cody, Tony, Felipe. We'll have to bring them back on one day. And Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the new friend that you wanted to bring on for Courtroom. So we'll have old people, new people. Let's do it.
Yeah, and it means we'll have new presenters for the Fleming Awards this year.
Well, if that's what it takes, then boom, let's do it. We got to get the presenters.
Yes, we do. All right. See you later, Justin.
All right, bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.